Hi, this is Amazing Toy. I hope you can see me. I'm right here in my backyard and I'm going to discuss a few things today. And one of them is how to make your money grow faster. Most people, when they think about making their money grow faster, they only think of one thing, the stock market, right? Or they got it in the money market account, or they got it in annuities. Uh, but those kind of vehicles, you have no control over. If you have no control over it, how can you determine how much money you want back? And that's why I like real estate. Now, when you become a private banker in real estate, you know exactly how much money you're going to get up front. In other words, when you're dealing with people like me and hundreds of thousands of people out there, they buy houses, okay? People like me buy houses. So when I buy a house, when I go to buy a house and I need money, it doesn't matter what interest I'm going to pay. Because if I'm going to make X amount at the end of the deal, for example, if I buy a property for 100,000 and I can sell it for 200,000, and somebody can get me the money in 1 day or two, or maybe even 5, 7 days, and they say, well, Tony, you're going to have to give me 15% APR or 20% APR. I'll look at it. So how much am I going to make in 90 days? Okay, versus giving this private banker 15% or 20%. That's how you have to look at your money. How fast or how hard is your money working for you? And so if you have money in the bank and you're making 0.1%, 0.2%, or 0.3%, you have it in CD, and the bank is telling you, I want you to lock it up for um, three months, 90 days, 120 days, 6 months, 1 year. So because you have 90-day CD, you have 6 months CD, 1 year CD, 5 year CD. I mean, you know, if you're watching this right now, I want you to call your bank or go to your bank and ask them what is their rate for CD. Probably the highest you will find out there for a 1 year CD is probably between zero point 0.3 and 0.4%. Now, zero point 0.3 and 0.4% is so ridiculous. You got $100,000 in the bank and the bank is giving you 0.3%. Now, I have a calculator here. So let's use our calculator to see how the bank is ripping you off. I mean, that's the only word I can use. They're ripping you off, okay? Because if let's say your bank has your 100,000 in a CD for 1 year, let's see how much money the bank will make on your money, because when they pay you 0.34%, okay, for 1 year, the bank will give you $340 for the whole year. So they get to use your money for one whole year and they're going to give you $340. Now, you now place the same money. Well, first of all, let's discuss how much money the bank is going to make on your money. Okay. So if the bank takes your 100,000, okay, based on their rules, or the Federal Reserve rules, they could loan out up to 90% of your money. If they have a 10% reserve based on their assets, so which means they can loan out up to $90,000 of your money. If they loan out $90,000 and they loan everything on credit cards, okay, their credit cards pay all the way to 27%. Okay, so let's say the bank now loans out $90,000 of your money, right? And they put everything on credit card, okay? The bank will make $24,000 on your money in 1 year. Let me repeat that. You gave your money to the bank for 1 year. The bank, in return, promises to pay you 0.4% or 3.4%, $340. The bank now loans the money to his clients and sometimes including you. Because if you have a credit card with that bank, you're paying anywhere from 20 to 25 up to 35%. Okay, so let's say we just go with the average of 27%, and the bank can loan out $90,000 of your money. So the bank just made, at the end of the year, $24,000 on your money. It's very bright here. I don't know if you can see it. So bank makes $24,000 on your money. They pay you 0.34%. I mean, if you don't want to call that a rip-off, that's okay. I mean, I don't know what else to call it. Now, here's the other question. You probably be wondering, well, I got to put it in the bank because what if I lose it? Because the bank guarantees it, the government guarantees it, which I understand. Okay, but the government did not say to you, we're gonna guarantee your money so you could lose it. Because when you have 100,000 in the bank and inflation is 1, 2, 3, or 4%, right? The bank pays you $340. If inflation is, let's just say, 2%, right? So you have $100,000, inflation is 2%, you are losing $2,000 for keeping your money in the bank. Even if it's 1%, that's $1,000 you lose every year just for keeping your money there. Now, the other places where you could keep your money include stock market. You could buy silver, you could buy gold, you could buy, any other investment. The only thing different between all these investments and real estate is that not a single one. There's nobody that I know in the stock market industry, in the financial, advising industry, or the wealth management, okay? Because a lot of banks have this section called wealth management, where they manage money for their wealthy people. Not a single one can guarantee that, hey, we will pay you a certain amount of return besides the lowest of the lowest, like CDs and sometimes annuities, right? They will guarantee a certain return because they're paying you peanuts. And that's the way the government designs it, right? According to the government, for your protection. And you should be protected because you work hard for your money. You should always seek safety first, okay? Make sure your money is safe, right? And so when you buy stock, you have to ask yourself, is this money really safe? Because if you buy stock hoping for the stock to go up, what if it starts going down? Do you have control? No. What if you buy gold and something happens in the world and gold starts to go down? You have control? No. Same thing with silver. The only asset that I know of where you have complete control is real estate. And that's why I call it the magic of real estate. Okay? Which I mean, the magic of real estate is a name that I coined, okay, from my Bible. I call it my Bible, the book of the magic of thinking big, and we will be going over this book uh, on a regular basis. Now, if you look at mine, I bought it in 1975. Okay, a few years after I got out of high school. That makes me old. I don't like disclose my age, but okay. So that's the magic of real estate. Uh, So I'm gonna here's my plumber right here. He has to come and do some work. Hi Ray. Okay, just come on your way. All right. So I'm at home. My plumber is supposed to come here. When you buy houses and you're an investor, you get to control your time. Okay, which is part of the things that I'm trying to teach you. If you're watching this right now and you have a job, you're working for somebody, you have a business, or you're a student, you're going to school, you should always constantly think, okay, if I have this chunk of money, or I plan to make this chunk of money, how can I grow it the fastest, continuously, consistently, on a safe basis? And that's where real estate comes in. The magic of real estate is this: when you have money in real estate, which is where a lot of banks, I mean, I would say not a lot, majority of banks put their money, besides credit card. Okay, the long-term asset that banks put their money is real estate. Okay, so if you had your 100,000 and the bank didn't put all of it in credit card, and they decide, okay, we're going to put some in real estate, right? Your 100,000 the bank can make money on your 100,000 three, four, 5 times a year, and rack in close to $10,000, $20,000 on your $100,000 by putting it in real estate. That's a topic of another day, and I'll show you how they do it. Because you will say, well, if they loan it at 4%, for 30 years, the money is locked up. No, it's not, and I'll show you the tricks banks use. Okay, because they sell these loans, right? They make the loan in 90 days. In 90 days, they sell it off. They use the money to make another loan. They sell it off. So when they make a loan for $100,000, they get 1 point. They get all the junk fees. Sometimes they get up to 2 points. So, but all the junk fees could be about $4,000, $5,000. So the moment they use your money, they sell the loan off. They make 5,000. They use the money again. They loan it out, make another 5,000. I mean, 4 quarters. If they use it 4 times, 5,000 each, that's $20,000. How much did they pay you? 0.34%, $340. Okay. And so going back to real estate, the magic of real estate, why you want to keep your money in real estate, even if you don't want to buy real estate. Because most people don't know that, get some water. Most people don't know that they can buy, I mean, they can make money in real estate without buying real estate. Okay. And if you're not in real estate, you have to think seriously. If you look around you, wherever you're watching this, you're surrounded by real estate. That you are sitting inside a real estate, a house, an office. If you look through your window, you see buildings, right? Those are real estate. Guess what? Every real estate you see around the corner is backed by some money, either bank money, private money, insurance money. Who else backs all this? Hedge fund money, okay, um, company money. Every real estate has some financing backing it, and it's about the safest way for people to get the best returns on their money. Well, you might say, well, we had a recession last time and a lot of people lost their money. A lot of people lost money in real estate. Yes, they did, because they didn't get into real estate right. So when you are using your money to make money in real estate, there are ways for you to get in that we will be discussing, along these lines, along this channel on a regular basis. And my goal is to teach you how thousands and thousands and thousands of wealthy individuals do it. Okay, they don't buy real estate, but all their money is in real estate. I mean, this includes, people like Warren Buffett, Bill Gates. You know, they might have made their money somewhere else, right? You probably heard the saying that majority of the people make their money in real estate, right? Well, a lot of them make money in real estate without even buying real estate, by becoming private bankers and loaning to money to real estate investors like me. How does that happen? Why buy houses? So I'm sitting here in my backyard, um, and you guys can see, you will see my garden in a minute. So my phone rings, and Mr. Jones called me and he said, "Well, Tony, I got this house for sale." I said, "Okay, good." So I get the address, I check it out, and I said to him, "Okay, how much you want?" So he tells me, "Well, the property is worth like 200, but now I need money. I gotta sell it right away. I'll take like 150." So I negotiate back and forth. I ask him questions. Does the property need work? When can I see it? Then I ask him other qualifying questions, other negotiating questions. Which, if you're a part of my circle, or you are on my go to my website amazingtony.com, you will see all the techniques that I use. Okay, uh, in terms of negotiation, there's a specific question that you ask home sellers that gives you 10, 20, $30,000, 10, 20, 40% discount on their property. So I now agree with this guy, say, okay, well, property is worth 200,000. Okay, you could buy for 120. So if I'm buying a $200,000 property for 120, okay, 120,000. So I'm buying it at 60 cents on the dollar. 60 cents on the dollar. Now, but I have no money. And I just agreed to buy a $120,000 property. And even if I have money, I still use other people's money. That's the beauty about real estate. Okay? I don't have to invest my money. So I now call one of my private bankers and I said, hey, um, one of my private bankers, her name is Karen, right? She and her husband, whenever I need money, I just call them. Then I have another one, Bill. Say, hey, I got this property. You know, it's worth 200,000. Okay, how much will you loan me? Bill or Karen or Jim, I got quite a few of them, really. Because when you've done 500 properties, you have a lot of people trying to just throw money at you because they get excellent return. I mean, my investors who come in and finance my properties, they get returns ranging from 7, 8, 9, all the way to 30%, depending on where the property is located, how much work we have to do, what position they want to hold. Most of the time, they're in the first position. So if something goes wrong, they get to keep the property and make another 40% on their money. That's the advantage of real estate. Because a lot of people are always afraid, well, what if I lose my money? Well, if you're buying something that is worth 200 for 120, how can you lose money? I mean, the worst that will happen is that, if I don't make the payment, you take the property back, you sell it for 200, you get to keep the difference to some extent, or at least you get to keep your $120,000 plus the interest that I promised you. And so, talking about the interest, if you notice, I mentioned earlier that um, the stock market is not stable. Number one, your bank is paying you peanuts. Number two, nobody can guarantee a return on your investment, right? It's different for real estate. When I call my investors, oh, they tell me, oh, Tony, well, what are you paying us? Okay, it's up to me to tell them, okay, well, I need the money right away. I'll give you 9%. Okay, what about bonus? Sometimes I give them bonus, which increases the yield. Okay, the 9% now increases to like 12, 15, sometimes 20%, right? So somebody now comes in and I tell them, okay, well, loan me 120,000, 9%. I get to use the money for 90 days, 120 days. I give him a bonus. So let's say I borrowed the 120,000, okay, at 9% from my friend Jim, okay. If I keep the money for 1 year, I will pay Jim $10,800 compared to $340 that the bank is paying him, right? Now, if Jim had put his $100,000, say, in some kind of CD, okay, or stock market, he can't guarantee at the end of the year he's going to get any money back because he cannot guarantee the stock is going to go up. The bank guarantees him 0.2, 0.3%, he will get 340. If he bought silver, nobody can guarantee him that the silver price is going to go up because if the price of silver goes backwards, it's guaranteed to lose money. But when I promise him 9%, I have to pay him 9%, or the law allows him to take the property from me. That's what a lot of people don't understand about real estate or about becoming a private banker. You are protected by law, okay? You are protected by the asset. The asset guarantees your money. The law guarantees that if the borrower doesn't pay, you get to take the asset. You have insurance that protects the property. If something happens, the insurance will come in, pay off your money, right? Um, you may not get interest because they will pay off the value of the property. But when you loan $120,000 on a property that is worth 200, okay, if something happens, the insurance company is going to pay 200,000. So there comes your interest and your bonus out of it. So I now agree to pay, Jim, or let's say it's Karen. I agree to pay them 9% interest, right? So that's about $10,800 on $120,000 a year. If I now give him bonus plus all the other little fees that comes with it, so let's say the bonus total about 5%. So let's add another 5% to that, right? Um, 5%. That's another $6,000. So in total, 6,000 plus 10,800. In total, Jim will have $16,800 at the end of the year. Now, you compare that to leaving your money in the bank. Why will anybody leave their money in the bank? Why will you leave it in some CD? Yeah, granted, the government guarantees the CD. The government also guarantees that when you loan your money on real estate, okay, and you know how to do it, you know how to protect yourself, okay, and that's where I come in. I help you protect yourself. I show you how to do it. I mean, the whole purpose of this is that I show people like you know, and you could find it on my website, amazingtony.com. I show people like you how to get into this game, okay, how to get into this financial game that the wealthy people play. It's a huge game out there that the wealthy people play, right, and reward themselves financially at a higher level than most people. I mean, first of all, they learn how to play the game. So if you want to learn how to play the game, you could go to my website, amazingtoyin.com. But just enough that I've told you right now, okay, you want to go try it on your own, okay? Um, Everything has a degree of risk. And the number one risk that most people run into is the risk of not knowing what they're doing, okay? Because Warren Buffett always said that he's never lost money. The reason he's never lost money is that he never invests in something he doesn't understand, right? And so, um, if you want to get involved in playing this game and you want to learn how to do it to where you could actually get returns on your money, say, I mean, at 15%, okay, at 15%, if you invest $100,000, okay, your $100,000 will double in less than 5 years at 15%. Now imagine if you're able to do it at 16, 20, 30%. If you do it at 30%, you'll be doubling your money every couple of years. Okay. Now, there are ways to even increase it, right? I mean, it might seem a little bit more risky, but once you get, you know how uh, when you're in karate, you start with a little white belt, then brown belt, then black belt. When you get it to the black belt of real estate investment, okay, you will be able to understand the process of actually doubling your money almost every year or every couple of years, you know, because the steps are there, the procedure is there, the process is there. It's been proven over and over again, right? And I've done it for almost 20 years for over 3,000 people, okay, that my mentor and I have um, come in contact with that became partners, private bankers, loan us money. And these people have made millions of dollars from me using their money. And I'm glad to pay excellent return. I mean, anytime I get to borrow money very quickly, because when you go to buy a house, the thing that separates the person that's going to make the money from the guy who's not going to make the money is who could buy the house the fastest. When you go to somebody's house and say they want to sell their home, and you're telling them, well, I have to go get a loan, and I mean, have you tried getting a loan these days? Even with a excellent credit, 700 FICO, right? I was testing it the other day, and for 2 months now, we've been trying to get a loan through a bank. Can you imagine if you go to somebody's house, you want to buy the house, the guy says, I got to move, I'm leaving, I want to sell my house. And you're saying, oh, I got to go to the bank and get a loan. You are out. And so when I go to buy a house, I tell the seller, how much do you want? 200,000. Okay. So if I give you cash right now, how much do you really want? Well, if you give me cash now, I'll take 150. Boom. I just made $50,000. So what's wrong with me giving my friend who is going to bring the money, giving him $10,000, $20,000 out of it, or giving him 9%, 12% return on his money? Nothing, because I'm just going to make like 30,000 just like that, because I could provide the solution quickly. Anytime you could provide solution to somebody's problem as soon as possible, they're willing to exchange or give you something in return. Okay, say for example somebody's in foreclosure, they got equity of 100,000 in their property. Okay, and I showed up. Their house is ready to go to sale, maybe in about a week. And I showed up, and I said, Mr. Jones, you're going to lose 100,000. If you don't do something today, you're going to lose 100,000 in a week. Okay, it's as simple as that. So, do you want to do something? And if you want to do something, what incentive do you want to give me so I can at least help you make some money and you don't lose it all? That's how we make money. So you provide a solution to Mr. Jones, who was getting ready to lose 100,000. Okay, and he now agrees to split the difference with you and say, okay, fine. If you buy the house for 150, at least I'm going to make 50,000. So you can make the other 50. I call my private banker and I say, hey, look, Karen or Jim or whichever one is available. Hey, I got this deal here. I'm going to need $150,000. We could close in a couple of days. You know, are you interested? And they respond, yeah, okay, Toyin, yeah, I'll take it at 8%. I'll take it at 9%, you know, okay. And sometimes, um, I shop them. In other words, I tell them, look, this is what I got. You tell me what you want to pay. Because after a while, you become the person that they all want to come to because you give them excellent return. I mean, who in their right mind will have a choice between making 0.3% and 9%? Will choose 0.3% when your ability to make 9% is just as safe as your 0.3%. You put your money in the bank at $100,000, you're going to make 0.3%. You put it with a real estate at 60 cents on the dollar, right? And you're going to make 9-10%. And it's just as safe, if not safer, than the bank. Which one will you choose? That's my question for you. And I know you probably have questions. How does this work? How can I get involved? What if I don't have $100,000? That's okay. Just put your questions below, and I will answer all your questions. Okay, and I might even show you how to find 100,000. Now imagine you have 500,000, right? Okay, you could even double it faster. Now, so talking about stuff before I leave here, every morning I read my Wall Street Journal, right? If you don't read Wall Street Journal, I don't know what to tell you. You should read something. Books. I read a lot of books. It's one of my books. I read this on a regular basis. I've been reading this book, but anytime I need inspiration, anytime I need something that bugs me, I go back to my book, right? So reading the Wall Street Journal today. This is today, as you guys can see. You can see what's going on in the world right now. This is what I see there. Now look at this guy. When I told you guys Wall Street Journal number one is not safe, I mean it's not as safe as people make it look like, and most people now believe it's a casino. I mean, even Bernie Sanders said that during the last election. So it's a big casino. Now, so this guy now is called. If you could read this, this guy is well off. He now believes that it's all a game because nobody can really predict it. He said it's just as good as throwing darts. I mean, at some point they did an experiment where they had monkeys throw darts, okay, to land that stock, right, and see which stock is going to go up. The monkeys did better than humans, with all these sophisticated algorithms, computers, all right. It's all a freaking guess game. And so this guy now says, okay, I'm going to put up $50,000. I'm going to let people guess which stock I should buy. You understand? When it comes to real estate, there's no guesswork. That's why Warren Buffett wins all the time. He doesn't take jump into things he doesn't know, right? Even though he makes a lot of money in stock, when he buys stock, he controls it. He controls the company. That's the advantage of real estate. When you buy real estate with your money, in other words, you loan your money, okay, because we're talking about being a private banker, okay. The information about buying and selling real estate is completely different from this, which I give lessons on a regular basis, okay. But when I talk about becoming a private banker, it means you're taking your money and you're acting like a bank, and you don't need a license, and you could make more money than the bank does. if you know how to do it properly and securely. So this guy now says, "Oh well, I'm going to let people use my money and throw that." That's proof for you right there that the whole stock market is a game. It's a casino. It's a guesswork. There's no guesswork in real estate because going in, you know exactly what interest rate you're going to make. You know when your interest rate is going to come in. Your money is going to come in. You know exactly when your money, you know, if you buy stock today, you cannot guarantee it's going to go up in price in 1 year. When you get your money out and you loan it out in real estate at 9%, every month I have to send you a check. So, for example, on this $10,000, if I loan the money for 1 year, right? So 10,800. Every month I send you a check for $900. $900 on the first of every month. I send you a check on your $100,000. Now, if I don't send you a check, guess what? You have the right to come in. You don't even have to tell me. You know, the process is so simple that you just pick up your phone, you call one member of your team, because when you get involved in this process, you have to kind of create a team that helps you, right? And guess what? You don't pay for the team. You have a lawyer, you have a title company, you have a escrow company, you have an appraiser, you have a foreclosure company. Guess what? You don't pay a dime for all those. And all those professionals protect your money. They wash it like a hawk. So if I don't pay your $900 a month, it's just a phone call, a text, or your email to one of your team members to take action, take the property, sell it, give you your money plus interest. I mean, you understand the beauty? So all those people that I mentioned, in one of these lessons we're going to have, I'm going to detail how we can go over how to get those members on your team, okay, and so that they can help you protect your money. So I'm going to sign off, okay, and then we'll maybe continue another day on one of the topics, because eventually I'm going to show you, number one, if you have money, you're planning to retire, or you're working right now, or you own a business, you have 100,000, 200,000, 500,000, no matter how much you have, okay, and you want to grow it as fast as you can, you want to double it every couple of years without taking a huge risk, then you are in the right channel. And so slowly we're going to go step by step on how you could accomplish this. Okay. Or if you decide you want to work with me, Tony, look, I want to do this. Okay. Just show me, just go to my website, amazingtony.com. You could watch, one of my more detailed webinars, almost an hour webinar, or you could just set an appointment with me there, and I'll give you another 45 minutes of my time. You know how much 45 minutes of my time is worth? It's worth about $700, because I charge $1,500 an hour to consult, for people that want to make money with real estate. Um, you know, so you might be saying, "Well, Tony, but I don't have money. I don't have $100,000." That's understandable. Your goal should be to work towards how you could get 100,000, right? And if you want me to show you how to get to 100,000 faster than most people could, because do you know how long it would take anybody to save $100,000 in this country? Most people don't even save $1,000 a year, let alone $100,000, right? So it could take you 20 years. But if you want to know how to get it faster, that's a completely different topic, that will give you step by step on how to achieve $100,000 to where, I mean, with 100,000, okay, if you know how to play the real estate game, you could be retired in 10 years, just like me. I mean, I'm not really retired because I enjoy what I'm doing, right? I can't call it retirement, but I might as well be, because I wake up, I come in my backyard, I run around my house, play with my cat, I take calls from sellers, I buy the property, I have people on the street that are working it, I have, you know, everything is controlled from right here. I don't know if you want to call it work, but I enjoy it. And I can get you in the same position where you actually enjoy this process. Because real estate, A lot of people get involved in it. They never make money. 95% of the people that go to all these seminars, they don't make money. The reason is very simple. Okay, number one, they don't teach them right. Until you run into somebody who can actually take you by the hand and guide you step by step, you're going to be spinning your wheels and wasting your time. But that's not the topic of today. So if you don't have the 100 grand to invest, or 50,000 or whatever, there are steps I can show you to leverage your time, maybe your credit, your friends' credit, your or bring your group together, and actually start to leverage other people, so you guys can begin to become private bankers. Sometimes, um, by putting other uh, um, like-minded people together. So let's say 10 of you have 10 grand each. That's 100 grand. You can pull it. As a group of friends or family members. That happens in the stock market. People pull their money and they invest in stocks. You can create your own financial group, financial club, those kind of stuff. Okay. So I'm going to sign off. I'll probably talk to you guys here in another episode, when I might discuss one of the topics on this book as it relates to the magic of real estate. So this is the magic of thinking big. As you can see, this amazing Tony, think bigger. In anything you do, always think as big as you can. Don't ever think small. Because if you think small, then your mind does not allow you to imagine what you could do when you're not thinking big. Okay? Because the bigger you think, the more possibilities open up for you, right? The more your mind becomes creative, because your mind has to say, well, if you could think that big, I'm going to show you how to do it. That's why my slogan says, think bigger. All right, it's amazing toying, and I'll see you guys at the top. Right, remember, please place your comments here. If you like this video and you want to share with somebody, just click share, email it, send it to your friends. If there's a question that you have, just put it there and I'll answer them. Um, if there's some topics you want me to discuss, just put it there. The reason I'm able to discuss all these topics is because everything I discuss here is what I've done. I bought properties for the last 20 years. I bought over 500 properties, one property at a time, and majority of them I did with none of my money. So if I can do it with no money, I can show you how to do it with no money. If I can attract people to just throwing money at me, I can show you, how people can throw money at you. And if you have money, right, and you want to become a private banker, so you could make 10, 20, 15% return on your money, right? I can show you that too. So, click below, go to my website, amazingtoyin.com, and I'll see you at the top. All right, bye.